Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the No BS podcast, No Bullskits podcast. We're talking about The Predator today. The new Predator movie came out tonight. We saw it in IMAX. It looked amazing. I mean, just beautiful photography right off the gate, right off the bat, whatever you say. But let's get our first thoughts. What do you guys think of it? Did you like the movie? Who liked the movie? Who hated the movie?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good question. Who didn't like the movie?
Didn't like the movie.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, what was the first thing that you didn't like? You're saying something on the way over here.
Comedic relief, too much comedic relief.
Right. Yeah.
They took that Marvel approach, trying to make it lighthearted and funny. But I thought the kills were nice. They're over the top. I mean, I like the movie.
Yeah. No, but I saw that too. Like, I like the comedy, and I'm like, I usually like those jokes and the Shane Black jokes. And we'll get to the Shane Black like direction, and there's like some of his signatures in there. But yeah, like I think it was a little too far. It was just like you were saying, Marvel. Like some of the Marvel ones have gone too far too. Like just farcical. Well, I still like all the movies though.
I watched the first one and the second one last night before this, and those actually have a lot of comedy in it. It's just he was doing a callback, I feel, to the 80s and 90s action flicks where it's like over the top humor and an over the top action. Like I feel that's what he was calling back to, and I thought he did a good job.
Yeah,
I mean, it may have like a joke or two over the top, but I mean I think that's why you got those type of actors, so they can do both roles, like acting and comedy.
That was McNugget talking about the What the Falk Show, no bullshit live stream of The Predator, starring Boyd Holbrook.
Yep.
Who else? Michael Keegan Key. Olivia Munn as a scientist which was a bit of a stretch. Kind of reminded me of a Jodie Foster in Contact. Overall, for anybody who likes 90s movies, who like the original Predator, you're gonna fucking like this movie because that's what this was. This was over the top humor. Yeah. This was over the top action.
A lot of homages to the first one. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, Shane Black was in the first one, so he was there on set, and like those were his jokes that were in that movie.
He's the first person that got killed by a predator.
Hawkins directed this one. He went to the Predator world. Instead of being a Predator killer, he was a Predator creator.
Shane Black?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he did a good job, and I guess we could go into some of the stuff. I don't know. Do you guys remember all the other Shane Black movies?
Oh, I got to.
Lethal Weapon, Iron Man 3.
He wrote all the Lethal Weapon movies. He wrote those. He directed and wrote
Kiss Bang Bang. So
The Nice Guys.
The Nice Guys was good too.
Yeah, I love The Nice Guys.
And that one, that's the one. The first signature from him that most people know about is like his movies are always at Christmas.
Oh, they just wasn't during Christmas time.
Halloween.
Yeah. So
they switched it up.
So they switched it up there. Was The Nice Guys on Christmas?
Yes, it was.
Okay, I didn't recall, but
I think that's why I didn't really like this one.
Oh,
because it wasn't set during Christmas.
Not getting that Christmas vibe.
Yeah. The third act, no presents. Also no Christmas.
I swear, I was looking for it right away because there's like this one. There's some parts at the school in the neighborhood, and I was like, "Where's the snow? Like, is there a Christmas tree? Or I want my Christmas." And that actually brings me to another Shane Black thing, which is he tends to have like a kid in the movie.
Yes.
Like he always has some kind of like sympathetic kid interacting with the main character. This one was the pretty obvious like son, father son, and the kid was a little special. The last one I remember. Yeah. He's evolutioned. He's evolved.
That's what they say.
The folks spectrum are pretty smart, man.
Yeah. Well, I like the idea that it was in Christmas because Halloween or not Christmas was the fact that as soon as you saw the mask and this little kid on the spectrum you talk about, you knew that around the third act and in the second act there was going to be a scene of a costume. Like, oh, that's a really cool costume. What is it? And then show cool Predator technology. And sure enough, we got that. I think it was a nice switch up because overall it was kind of a bunch of people in masks shooting people and was very outlandish. It was kind of what Halloween is for, right?
Yeah.
All the way
down. And there was outlandish and just like the action parts, like it was over the top. There was like a lot of kills and just like blood.
Great.
And people just getting their heads
seriously.
off.
This was pretty impressive action.
I like that.
I want him to remake every 90s movie. So I want Shane Black to take on the next Rambo.
Bring back Demolition Man.
I want him to do the next Desperado. We just make an American name. What is the American name for Desperado? I don't know. The
guy, the person.
What would you call it? The Nomad. You could do the Nomad, have Chris Evans in it. So overall, I love the action. You just grab people, just stab, blood everywhere. So the first trailer, this is going to be a CGI farce in a lot of ways. But if you just get into it and accept it, you're going to be okay. Because it was all Predator 1.
There's some practical effects in there.
This was all Predator 1.
Normal Predator.
Yeah.
Practical.
Was it big? Was it big
Predator?
one?
Was all CGI.
All CGI. Okay.
Yeah. And normal one had those or the original Predator, it had those over the top moments too, like where just stuff was just blowing up in the beginning. They go into that first operation and stuff's just blowing up. It looks like like a Rambo, like an 80s, just like blow them up. And they had that same vibe here, but they definitely didn't go like too far. Like they kept it they updated it. You know, it was like it felt new. They had the technology down. There's like the computer screens and the Predator stuff. Like they updated everything, added the effects, and I think it turned out pretty sweet. Like it looked pretty awesome. Maybe the story or like some of the jokes, some of the characters actually are to kind of like leave you wanting more.
I love the characters.
Dude, I was gonna say I love those characters.
They did a great job.
I love those soldiers,
building their world, and they each paired off into their own little teams.
Well,
and
you know, Thomas Jane and Michael Keegan.
Michael Keegan Key.
Okay,
they had a good.
No,
like
it's
they will never call back.
No, it's Keegan Michael Key.
There it is. Thank you.
And Jordan Peele.
Thank you.
Expect them to have a good chemistry.
Well, and they call it. It was a callback to the first movie with
they did well.
Jesse Devani and Billy Duke.
They distinguished each character. They gave them their own core, their own kind of specialty when it came to weapon and stuff like that. And I think that's what paid a good homage back to the 90s.
It's cool that they were military, but you kind of saw them as more just misfits and convicts.
Yeah.
And they kind of take on this outer worldly thing and protect this kid and help out the ranger guy. So overall, I liked. I mean,
they're veterans. So.
I'm positive.
Well, and I love how they show that they're flawed.
Yeah.
Like they're
anti-heroes.
They're there in the hospital for a reason. That's why I was like, oh man, like it's a good movie.
Well, that was the other difference too. Like you're saying, misfits in like the cast. Like the original cast, it seemed like they were badasses. Like they were all like primed,
totally,
just jacked up,
biggest of whatever they are.
You know? Yeah, and then this one,
biggest Native American.
Yeah, they're just like Arnold, Jesse the Body, like all those big ass dudes.
Apollo Creed.
Apollo Creed. Dude, I mean, the
Fives.
most macho handshake of all time. Let's just say it right now.
Still gets
Whose bicep is bigger?
It's like, I think my balls just dropped. That's pretty impressive.
A lot of testosterone in the first movie. This one, not as much, but not in a bad way. But I was just going to comment that, like, yeah, they're all misfits. They're all, like, have their problems. They're, like, not, like, a good team, but they're a good team together.
Yeah.
But each person's kind of, like, fucked up. I mean, they, like, be real. Like, there's some part in the story where they all have their little, like, issues.
I think Alfie Allen was pretty wasted, though. He
He
didn't get that much.
I think that was the point.
Let's
He
talk
killed
about
fucking John Wick's dog, so I'm not going to really have respect for him.
on the shit list.
So,
what about the Olivia Munn character?
It was a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
Playing a scientist.
Okay, Olivia Munn, she's just like, she's a B actor to me.
Yeah.
Who gets outclassed by all the other actors.
Like, I thought she
could. That's just to me.
I loved it, dude. She's
face.
like, just, you got to go with the character.
Face.
Just go with that character. Well, she started on G4 as a
How about kind of a spoiler question, though, depending on how visual the predators are? Did he not kill her because she was naked, or did he not kill her because she was in a cowering position?
She didn't have a weapon.
She wasn't a threat. That's what I thought. She wasn't something to be hunted. She was easy prey.
So he wasn't like, "Hey, how you doing? I don't want to."
No, well, the first Predator was technically. I mean, this gets into the story, but I thought about that because the first Predator wasn't actually like on a killing spree. He was
she
just
had a
like
weapon, though.
breaking out.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, that was
Technically, like part of the story, but
it would go along with the first actual movie, whereas he wasn't killing you if you didn't have a weapon in your hand.
yeah,
Until the end.
I mean, that led into the second movie too. Like there was a scene on the subway where the civilians are shooting at him. And he kills all of them except the people that weren't
The civilians.
weapons.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I think with back to Olivia Munn, it's just it wasn't believable. It was too much, and I definitely got some like vibes of like they were trying to force it. They're like, let's make the girl really badass, you know? Like,
well, I figured she was
lot.
supposed to just fit
She
in
could do
with,
the same
but she was supposed to
things
fit
that
in with.
soldiers can do.
Well, that's the point. So she's supposed to be all these guys are like top notch, military trained. So they just kind of like had her go with it, and like, I mean, fuck it, it was awesome. She jumped on a bus. That was awesome, and like in ready to fire mode, like that's.
So did you guys, for people out there who are older, any of you guys, other than Miguel, did any of you guys get the Contact reference? Jodie Foster.
I mean, yeah, I know.
Okay, so in the movie Contact, really underrated movie, she starts out as a kid, kind of being a astrologist and looking out in the stars and everything. Then this movie, Olivia Munn talks about how she sent her first letter to the government when she was 6 years old. So she's kind of a brainiac who kind of jumps on this like alien world thing and kind of runs with it. And I felt like they were really taking that strong female character because it's 2018.
Yeah,
from that Jodie Foster, like similar. If you liked the character Olivia Munn, check out Jodie Foster in Contact. You might find similar,
Well, let's talk
vibes.
about another 2018 moment. But lastly, did you want to say anything about Olivia Munn? Did you like her character?
No, I thought the whole casting should have been changed up.
Okay, so other people
we talked
too.
about we talked about that. It should have been like if they wanted to go hark back to the 80s film, they should have put a stronger main character, lead character.
Yeah, like
Acting
Arnold. We need like a new you can't replace
was
Arnold, but
You can't replace
there's like a
Arnold.
Rock or like a Jason Statham in there.
Somebody,
Like it felt like they needed like a little more star
the guy
power.
was small, like he just didn't feel like he was going to be much of a threat. Even though he was a sniper, I didn't see him snipe up at any point in time.
Does the realism mean anything? Because sometimes do you ever get into that? Because like how many actual soldiers, snipers look like The Rock?
Yeah, you do.
Right?
I get into the realism until the first movie, right?
Yeah.
That gets you into the realism,
Okay.
right? And
Sounds
that's
good.
what takes me away with all that comic relief. Kind of takes me away from the realism of the film.
Yeah.
Also, you know, the original film, right, was more serious, right? When you start taking away from that, you get out, and then the guy was like jumped on him and was like on fire, and didn't really.
That was crazy.
Didn't really burn up. Like,
That was
okay.
And Olivia Munn jumped on him too, and it was just like the same kind of thing. I'm like, these guys are really getting over on him more than you would think. So yeah, I think I totally get what you're saying, because the jokes too, like every time, like it kind of pulls you out a little bit. And then in the original one, to compare it to the original one, I'm thinking about how like tense the jungle was.
Yeah.
Like the parts where he's like mudding up his face and he's just like stalking. They're like stalking more.
Like it's like the
More like suspense movie.
Yeah.
This was more of a comedy, like and a bunch of action.
Shane Black.
That well,
Shane Black.
Yeah,
Well, they
that's
also-
back to the Shane
but they
Black
up-
stuff
they-
for sure.
They like and they updated for the now times, because I don't think you get away with like this kind of idea. Well, because the Alien Covenant was just terrible.
Well, I get you.
So-
mean the humor kind of took away of the high stakes situation.
Yeah,
which
you
you
want to
didn't
have
like.
those
Yeah.
intense scenes, right?
Yeah.
Where you see him like crawl
Yeah,
the
and then you
mud
could come
like-
back to the comedy later or something, but they never had any kind of like long, like scary segment. It just
Yeah.
go, like,
If you
happened
if you
fast.
preferred the first one, would you agree if I were to say that you said you liked as Arnold gave into the jungle, right? Kind of became part of it, the mud and everything.
Yeah,
So he kind of de-evolutionized himself to be a predator himself and just a hunter.
Yeah.
right.
So at the end of it, he's less human. He's whatever he has to be to kill this motherfucker.
He's actually
Well, I'm glad you brought that up,
Sounds
because
like Rocky IV.
I think kind of.
Yeah.
I wonder if the first Predator movie is the Predator the alien, or is it Arnold? You know, like is that deep? Did I get too real with you
Well,
guys?
Terminator, right?
Got a dig deep, man. It's real psychological there.
That's too
That's
serious,
right, man.
We're too stoned for this
Maybe
shit.
we're the predators.
Shout out
Hey,
to the
man.
chat though. Thanks for
All the
watching,
animals on the
guys.
planet, we are the
We
predators.
got Actual Justice Warrior in the house, friend of the show. We got Pope Waffles,
Love
Retina.
the name.
He says, Actual says the best part of the opening mission in the original Predator was they were supposedly rescuing someone while blowing everything up.
Yes.
So it's just like
Very good point.
crazy.
Very good point.
So that's a good thought
Seriously,
on
I
that.
like
Yeah.
rewatching it. There is so it's like he was Michael Bay before Michael Bay, but just better. John Tierney.
No, that
Big Tierney. He
Yeah.
just
Actually,
blew up everything.
He
Which
did
is
not
amazing.
direct that scene.
Really?
Yeah, that was a second unit scene.
Huh.
That's why that scene, if you compare it to all the other scenes in Predator,
Yeah.
it does not really fit.
Yeah, it looks like it's in a different movie.
They just so much explosion,
Yeah.
dude. And like
It's
that's-
crazy,
okay,
but it's
makes sense.
cool.
Yeah.
It's cool though. And then
Stick around.
Well, John McTiernan was
No,
a really
no.
underrated
I love
90s
that scene.
movie
Yeah.
director. 'Cause
Well,
he did
dude-
Predator, he did Die Hard 3, which is my favorite Die Hard.
He did Die Hard 1.
Did he too?
Yeah.
John
first one?
McTiernan, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he did Thomas Crown Affair, which I also love.
He got arrested actually. For
Well, that's the thing I
He
was
did.
gonna say.
He got
I
funding
looked,
from the mob.
I looked him up. And
He's actually like pretty crazy.
He got, he got arrested, went to jail, all this stuff. So he's a little bit
I feel like he was what he portrayed in his movies. A little bit machismo dude. Like you're like, don't
Yeah, dude.
fuck with this guy. You might
It's
actually.
wiretapping someone or something.
Yeah,
But,
that's what he was doing.
someone says make a parody of Kansas Dust in the Wind called "You're a Nazi." Maybe. Thanks, J God, for watching. John Davis said, "So should people see it or not?" Let's answer that question.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
pretty simple.
This is definitely a get your popcorn ready movie. Take the girlfriend and just enjoy the movie, man. You don't have to think too much. I mean,
It's as simple for me as did you see? You would disagree, but for me, it's do you enjoy the '90s, the first two '90s ones? Because if you can give into the cheesiness, you'll like this movie.
Yeah.
Over the top cheese, over the
Yeah.
top blood. I love
I
it.
even like the music. The music, even in the team building, reminded me of a '90s
Music
movie.
was good.
And they brought back the original
Yeah, there-
motif too.
Yeah. For
For
sure.
And
Yeah, I
then
think
the
if you have the
Bob
right
Barker.
expectations, for sure. I think it's definitely not for everyone either.
No, yeah.
'Cause,
Definitely
like,
not the beats.
like you gotta like Predator maybe, or you gotta
Yeah.
like genre. You also got to consider something I was going to bring up is the rated R part. Not to be like a prude, but it's
Yeah.
like they curse a lot in this movie.
They do.
and that's fine with
and
me.
a lot of
I
blood
like
too.
that part.
There's a lot of
Me
blood.
too.
Yeah, I like the R part, like because you don't see many rated R like blockbusters made anymore. So that was cool with me.
Yeah.
Some people might not like it, but yeah, definitely if you like that action schlock,
Yeah.
that big old like I was just stoked when it started because again like we were in the IMAX and like I was just like, oh, it's so huge, and then the spaceships are coming in, like,
Yeah.
and I know it's to sound like a big kid. I'm like, oh yeah, spaceships and then lasers and then Predator. You know, like, but that kind of shit is awesome, especially like on
that
on
is the
big
movie,
screen.
guys. Like that was verbatim. I don't know if you realize.
I didn't mean to spoil the movie for you guys.
The whole thing.
Sorry about the spoilers there. But that actually reminds me. I was half kidding, but it is like a theater movie.
Yeah,
you know,
for
like
sure.
like you want to be in that room. There was a lot of people laughing in there.
Oh, dude, there's some guy in there that was really enjoying that.
I heard that. My guys on your end. I
he
heard
was
that guy.
really loving that movie.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
He like literally laughed out loud. Like,
yeah,
like,
there was a lot of laughing, and I actually did have some scares too. Like, I mean, not like a full blown scare, but there was like I forget exactly, but there was like a couple kills where I was just like, oh my god, like they sliced someone's off or something. Right. Like there was definitely some jumps in there too that were like earned.
A nut kill.
Yeah, I was just thinking that in my head. Like there's like a dude got one through the through the man region. That was not fun.
Yeah, a lot of awesome kills.
Yeah,
definitely a lot of awesome bloody kills.
Good
I
hope
they do a video game.
Yeah.
Well, I want to ask you guys, because some people said when the trailer came out, it kind of spoiled the film. How do you guys see in hindsight now? Because I thought the Ultimate Predator was badass, man.
Well, it did spoil it when it came out, but like
I got. But I feel like if they didn't show that, it could have had an extra effect because you wouldn't even know about the whole second act because you would have just thought it been the first Predator and that's it.
So that was good to prepare you.
No, I think I actually don't like the fact that they spoiled it.
Okay.
I mean, I think. That might deter. Yeah. Well, I don't think. I think it's actually going to bring more people in too. I
didn't notice anything from Predators though. I noticed a lot of differences to Predator 1 and Predator 2.
Well, Predator 6 plays on another planet.
So what are they going to do?
Those are from his world, I assume.
Yeah, I forgot about that part. There's like Predator Dog
2018.
That shit.
Well, I mean,
honestly,
he said it was with Max Hunter, so I mean, that makes sense. They did show Predators in Predators.
Yeah,
they had like animal dog like
creatures.
So
no, I think it's cool. It worked. Like okay, but there was definitely that was one of the parts. Like the Predators look good, but like the dogs, like the CG, it was just like a little much. It was like oh my god, it looked like just kind of like, you know, I'm sure the details were fine, but it looked like muddled like pixels to me the way the dogs were. And they had a lot of it in there. It was kind of weird.
Some parts were slowed down. Like,
yeah.
Like the pacing?
No, like some little scenes, some shots were like slowed down, like the frame rate.
I noticed the end scene. If anybody realized the end scene, they shot the end a little later because when he first shoots him and he looks again, his hair is completely different. That was shot.
I thought it was a completely different person at first when he walked out with the hair. I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
And they shot back again
because that was so much later. That's what reshoot.
They reshot that
when he had the hat on.
Months later.
It was probably because like we couldn't get fucking Arnold. So
yeah. I know what you're saying. Someone Actual Justice Warrior asked another good question. Is it a reboot, sequel, or soft reboot?
Soft reboot.
Sequel. It's a sequel.
Is it
they even said they've been since '87. It worked all the way in. It said '87, '92.
But I would say soft reboot, sequel.
I could see the soft reboot side of it though, because it does like kind of rehash everything from the original in some ways. Like
what's awesome is the Predator used the original weapons from the original Predator. So that was actually really cool. So it is a.
I mean, they did rehash, but I felt like they made it its own movie. They had new characters, good dynamics, a new Predator. I mean, I would say it's an evolution in itself. You know,
they set it up too for
definitely
did.
And that's I feel that's my complaint with most movies these days. It's like, why don't you just make a movie, like be awesome, and then if it's awesome, then make a sequel. Don't try to set it up with a bunch of things that lead into another. That's Terminator's downfall.
This is for franchise, though. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
That's what you get about a franchise. That's why you get all that budget, but then the storytelling is always a little whack.
Well, they try to make it appealing to people all around the world.
Yeah,
not just the original.
Yeah, no, that's funny too. Yeah, it's a lot of movies have gone to more of the international reach because they're like, oh, we can't make enough money in America.
It makes movies so whitewashed though now.
I think normally that would have been their motivation. Right? That would have been it normally, but the fact that they brought back Hawkins for the first one, like they wanted, someone who loved the franchise to bring it back. I feel like because I liked Predators, I liked all the movies, I liked all the Predator movies, including this one. But I felt AVP2. I liked AVP2 more than AVP1. Yeah, this is
I liked Alien vs Predator.
No, get out of here.
That stuff gets really schlocky, but
yeah. Oh man, don't get me wrong, it didn't suck, but if you're gonna make a new Predator movie, the storyline could have been a little bit better. The dialogue in the movie between the characters could have been a little bit better. Yeah, I don't know. They just threw it together.
I feel like that's how Shane Black movies are. It's either loved or like
it's either too funny for its own good.
So someone else said this, and here's what I was going to say about it. Sounds like a soft reboot, technically a sequel.
Yes.
And then this is what I was going to say is like it's kind of like The Force Awakens from Star Wars.
Okay, use the same similar idea
where it's a sequel on face value, but like when you go into it, you're like, oh, it's just like the same thing that happened in A New Hope.
Okay, well,
there definitely was. Oh, sorry.
I know it's good. Continue.
I was like, there definitely was a lot of just callbacks to the original movie.
That's a good statement, though, to say, because personally, I'd take this movie over Force Awakens. Force Awakens.
So would I, man.
Yeah,
Like,
Force Awakens.
Yeah,
what about you? Would you take this over Force Awakens? Or you take?
I like Star Wars.
Like Star Wars. Yeah.
Star Wars is good. But
see, all the things you say about this, I would say about Star Wars. Repeat the casting, the director, the whole fucking world.
See, but I like the new cast of Star Wars.
I hate it.
do you guys see Solo? Now that it's
Solo was better.
Yeah. Solo
was better than any of the new
DVD
trilogy in my mind.
Whoa, see, I thought that was weird. Solo Slack story, I thought, and it just really all they did was it did a jumping point from one cool thing to another that we already kind of knew.
They just gotta explain.
It's like, did I really? Yeah, exactly. Do I really have to know how he got his last name, like, or how he got his blaster? Like, no, I want to see. And then they left me more confused at the end of that movie.
Yeah.
I still think Rogue One is like the better of the new Star Wars.
Rogue One,
It's its own independent movie.
That's probably
similar to the Predator because you have your like ragtag band of characters trying to save the world.
And they know that, and we knew they're not going to survive. Like that's the whole. It's like they're going to a suicide mission, so that makes it a deeper layer.
I guess it's such a specific genre for people to like because I hate movies that are B movies and do it on purpose and say, "Hey, I'm a B movie. I suck, but you should like me." I'm not one of those. I'm not one of those people. But when it's a B movie and it's like I'm going to be 90s Connor, I'm going to give you over action, I'm going to give you over the top characters, over the top humor, then I can buy into it.
I think it. Yeah,
and I bought into
saying, and I think it's like with this one, it's kind of going that way, but it's like above a B movie. It's not like the.
It is.
It's like going for the blockbuster.
Like Sharknado, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, that's kind of what I mean. That's like a C
Meg.
movie.
Yeah.
See, Meg would probably be a B movie.
Meg had Jason Statham.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why I thought of Jason Statham. I'm like, he could pop into something like this too.
He'd be like the Jean-Claude Van Damme. And usually, he was supposed to be the Predator.
Okay, let's take the vote then. Is it just me? Because I would take Boyd Holbrook over Jason Statham. I know you take Jason Statham.
Yeah.
What about you?
I would like. I mean, not specifically, but like
in
that's
this
my
movie,
first example.
John Cena, maybe?
In this character,
John Cena, The Rock. Like,
you would take Jason?
I wouldn't.
What about you, Ernesto?
I'd take the guy that played the character in this one.
I thought he was pretty good.
Yeah, actually, for what they wanted out of the character,
Yeah.
I think that's what. Because I mean, John Cena would be an interesting choice, but you would have done a different kind of character.
Here's the other thing I wanted to go into. It kind of goes back to we were talking about like the girl part, right?
Yeah.
And they're like trying to push the girl, making her awesome.
Yeah.
And then the other part, this is a little.
That didn't bother me. Like that didn't even register in my mind.
Okay, there was one scene I was like, this is for sure 2018 when they're chasing the predator, and then she's running with it with the gun. I was like, oh man, they're making her.
She jumped onto a bus and was ready to take it out.
She doesn't need anybody. That's what
but I wasn't buying it.
She shot herself.
That's when it's like, all right, well, let's put it.
She literally shot herself in the foot.
Okay.
But
here's
the other thing. I totally get that. I had that moment pretty much right away though, like because there's that one part where she picks up like the dart gun and she's like, I'm like, what's she gonna do with that dart gun? Like, what the fuck is she gonna do? But like they're trying to make it seem like, oh, she's gonna stop him or something. I'm like, that's not gonna do shit.
She didn't give a fuck. She was ready.
She was like, did they ever explain? Like, I feel like they needed a line to be like, oh, she trained as a Navy SEAL or something. Like they just put her in there. Like all of a sudden she's like
I think
John Wick.
Was just
like
exposition.
Yeah, there was nothing like explained about that because I was like, wait, she's a scientist. I could believe it because scientists are smart. Maybe she like learned how to do combat too, but like they never explained that.
Bro, she wrote a letter to the president. She paid
for
the postage.
Do you know?
She bought the stamps.
Dated Aaron Rodgers.
She dated.
You know how determined this woman is?
That's what Meghan Markle did. But anyway, the other thing was
Meghan Markle dated Aaron.
She like sent a letter to the president or some shit like that.
Of England. It was like, I'm gonna hook up with your son.
Yeah, one day I'm gonna get.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm gonna tap that princess. I'm gonna tap that princess.
No, okay. So the other thing, I went back to the girl thing, but then the other thing was like the Asperger stuff. Like it felt like they were trying to like make this like, oh, we're gonna like this is like autism awareness in the movie.
But it worked with the character.
It worked. No, I'm not saying it ruined it.
By him being
like,
autistic, he was able to learn language faster.
But it was like
autism. All of a sudden, you can.
Well, it's because it was a puzzle though. It was a puzzle to him.
Yeah, I got it. But like, that's where I was going. Was just like you could tell they're doing like a little like,
oh, Mercury Rising.
First the girls, now we're gonna push the like slow people or what. They're not even slow. You know, I don't know what it is.
Okay, if you're really going for like the trends that we're having, you guys know how I'm about nutrition. So like the trend is going that far more and more people are on the spectrum as being born. Whether you want to say it's from artificial sweeteners or just the fake food we're eating. So 20 years from now, I have to believe it's going to be a lot more common, as it has been, that people are born with these deficiencies. So women empowerment, physical, neurological issues, you know.
Are you comparing women's deficiencies to that of a Down syndrome person?
No, I'm comparing.
It's been worse than that.
Comparing your deficiencies.
That was me. That was
a person
me.
with Down syndrome.
I jumped to some conclusions there.
I love when you mention something like that, because for me, it always goes to a point when we watch this movie, we love it. You know, we have Shane Black, we have the producers of the thing, we have people who run the studio, and then we have fucking Time Warner all the way up there who never watches anything, and they say,
actually,
okay,
Disney.
We say, you're interrupting me while I'm talking, and they say, what do you have for my second quarter this year? What are you going to make me $200 million on? And that's all they wanted. Put some autism in there. Yeah. Put a woman doctor who's going to be fit with the guys. Put an up-and-coming action.
She runs fast as a predator.
So this was basically a studio movie in so
many
ways.
It's true.
I love it, though.
You know what this reminds me of? This is a little side, but it's like, I thought the same thing about DC movies and Warner Brothers. Did you say, is this Warner too? No, it's Fox.
This is technically Disney.
It's Disney, yeah.
Now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But yeah, anyway, like
So
I was thinking that's
like
like what's been going on with the Superman movies. They don't listen to the people or like what people want to watch. They're like looking at pie charts in like a freaking office, and they're like we need a female Superman. No, let's make him black and gay, and let's take off one of his hands. Give him a claw.
Latino,
love that.
Female hair.
What a great idea.
Right now.
Put that out right now.
Increase.
Well,
We
make
add
the
Coca-Cola or Diet Coke.
And then there's like one intern who's like, wait, but everyone kind of likes Henry Cavill. Like a lot of people are waiting on Man of Steel 2.
He didn't test very well.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
They're like, yeah, but he's way too white.
But now he's like become. We know him as Superman, and he was actually some of the best parts.
Yeah,
of
he's
those
the best
terrible
part.
movies.
He's the best part.
Yeah, dude, he's awesome.
DC.
Well, Wonder Woman was
And that's why, like, if we keep going down there, I know some people have been hearing about it on the internet, but like
Her.
And that Superman dropped out like yesterday or something, like 2 days ago. But I heard he's like might be in negotiations because like he did that Twitter video, and it might have been like a ploy, and I think it works.
Could be forcing the studio's hand.
Yeah, because it's like, think about it. His publicist leaks that he's leaving, and then all of a sudden everyone's freaking out, and then Warner Brothers is like, damn, we better do something with Superman because everyone likes
But where are they going with that?
Give him more money.
I don't even know where they're going with that whole DC universe. I mean,
I
like,
don't think they know either.
Yeah,
well,
Justice League bad guys. So when is Darkseid coming? They haven't even like.
I think they
They
forgot.
have Aquaman.
Yeah,
They
forgot
We saw
him.
an Aquaman.
I think they're gonna go to Justice.
Flashpoint.
Sorry, no. What's the
No,
bad
they're not
guy
even
league?
Flashpoint.
What's the bad
Batman
guy?
vs Superman 2.
No, the Justice.
Rematch.
Legend of Doom. No, Legion of Doom.
He's gonna do it.
Yeah, they're gonna go that
With
route.
Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then Deathstroke, and they're gonna combine all the bad guys that survived these DC movies, and then
You
that will
lost.
be dealt
You
with.
lost Ben Affleck.
It's the same thing though.
John
They're like,
Hammond's supposed
the
to
people
be
in the
that.
offices are like, no, let's not make a
John
Superman
Hamm
movie.
said that he can fit the suit, but no one has asked him to be Batman. But he says, I'm willing to be Batman if you'd like me to.
But I think aren't they going younger? though?
Me too. All of us here, we'll be Batman.
Pretty much any person.
I would say people who are Henry Cavill fans and they only know him from Superman, do yourself a favor and watch Mission Impossible Fallout because he killed it in that movie.
The movie.
And I think that's part of why he has some leverage with WB right now is because that movie was so well received and he did such a good job.
Also,
about 10 minutes of Mission Impossible Fallout is better than about 4 hours of all the DC movies ever.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
for sure.
In my mind.
Especially the last ones, but yeah, like I was gonna say also.
Well, not Batman Begins. I'm not saying like that. Those are all. That's the GOAT. I'm not saying it. I'm saying the new.
The ones with
people know.
Superman.
Here, the fuck,
Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
universe.
from Suicide Squad on is better.
Oscar-winning Suicide Squad.
Gross.
Are you guys looking forward to the Jared Leto Joker movie or the new Joaquin?
I don't even think that's
Phoenix
happening anymore. Are they both happening still?
Yeah,
I know
Joaquin
Joaquin
Phoenix
Phoenix
is definitely happening.
Yeah, that's
Jared Leto is still the Joker in the Suicide Squad universe, and then there's going to be another Joker introduced.
Is that really going to
That's
happen?
another one of those dumb moves. They're like,
That's
money
what-
grab.
Warner Brothers
It's
like,
three
nah,
Jokers.
let's not make a Batman movie. No more Superman. Let's make 5
Okay,
Joker
if they
movies.
really want to save themselves, all they have to do is be like, "Hey, guess what? There's multiple universes because that's all
Yeah.
there is multiple universes in
Yeah.
DC
Or
world."
it'd be like
So
Christmas
this is
Joker,
actually Earth 2
Summer Joker.
Joker, and this is Earth 27 Joker, and so it's like you can easily because there's like thousands of Earths.
Here's the
out
talk.
there.
Okay, here's what I'm saying, right? They keep talking about they want a black Superman. They want a handicapped Superman. What if we had, when are we going to have a fat Superman? You know what I mean? Like, why
Superman.
can't we get a
Si
fat
se puede.
Mexican? fat Mexican Superman.
Yes.
You know,
who likes tacos and has an autistic kid.
Yes, it's kryptonite. That's
El
kryptonite.
Super
who's
Mono.
dating a black girl.
Yeah.
Lois Lane is.
Let's just get this done, Warner Brothers.
No, but
right?
honestly, if they're going for market research and
build that
relating with the audience, then the majority of people are struggling in the world. You know, whether struggle or not, but it's like the world is right now. So yes, every superhero should be like average weight
superhero.
and just it shouldn't be all ripped
What
like
the
the Rock,
fuck, man?
There was
I
a
don't
fat
like them
superhero
fat shaming
on Jessica Jones, but he died.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, superhero just
yeah. He was.
We had powers.
fast.
I can't say he's
He
super.
was-
Kingpin.
Yeah, he's fast for being
Yeah,
a
he
big
was
guy.
fast.
Kingpin could count. He's a big dude.
He's a bad
Some
guy,
people
though.
say I remind them of Kingpin. I don't know why. I think it's because I'm rich.
Only your
Okay.
face. Only your face reminds us of him.
Okay, so we're
Yeah,
coming
balls.
up on the end. We got a lot of thoughts out there. We jumped on some other stuff. Good everything, guys. Let's wrap things up. I think we mostly recommended the movie, but let's go back to that. Ratings. Think about your rating. If you want to rate it, thumbs up, thumbs down, out of 10. I have 5 flame meter. We all have our own systems, you know. It's like Rotten Tomatoes, Movie Club, YouTube, thumbs up, all that fun stuff. So who wants to go first with the rating? Anybody confident?
I am very confident in my rating.
What's up?
I'm going to go that simple 10. I'm going to give it a 7.2
Wow.
because
That's nice.
it's fun. It's a great movie. It's just good, a lot of enjoyment. There's a few parts that, I could definitely have seen better, but there's spoilers, so I can't say it. But other than that, great movie. Go have popcorn, soda. Enjoy
Are you
yourself.
gonna buy it on Blu-ray?
Yes, I will own it. I own all the other ones too, though. So I'm a Predator fan. So
It's obligated to
Just
buy.
because.
Heavy
just
endorsement.
I have the my collection. So
You're not obligated, but they love listening to this.
Oh,
You're like,
yeah.
yes, he's obligated. Please
why
buy
do
it.
you send it to me now? Go ahead. 20 bucks.
We'll have an Amazon link in the description.
Yeah.
Okay, who's next? What about Easy?
I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10, man. This movie
Whoa.
had everything
I love
that
it.
I wanted to see,
Yeah.
bro. I was
He's a big
entertained.
fan.
I was
I feel
entertained
you.
from the
I feel you.
beginning to the end of the
Okay.
movie, and I actually kind of like the end, what they revealed, and hopefully that can lead on to some more, badass Predator.
You went in
movies.
with a certain mindset, and they
Yeah.
gave you what you wanted.
Exactly, America.
Man, talking about that, the next series I think would have been much better to do than what they did in this series. You know what I mean? Right? Wouldn't that have been cool?
What do you mean? You mean
I won't give the spoiler
The sequel?
Like
Right.
the
What's
ending.
gonna happen?
What they showed in the end would have been a much
potential
better
for
storyline than what this
Yeah.
movie actually.
I hope they
Okay.
make the next movie like that.
That would be
The
dope.
ending is dope.
You know,
without
he said-
saying much, it's
Without,
awesome.
without doing spoiler, I think would be cool. What you're thinking, getting on, is maybe if what we saw at the very end was actually the start of the
What's the
third act.
storyline?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
That might have been what actually
Nah.
helps them at the end.
And then it's the kid who dons the suit or something like that.
There you
Maybe.
go, you know.
That's close. It's close.
What about you, Nico?
It was, I'd say 5 out of 10.
Wow.
Cons,
Low.
Olivia Munn.
Yep.
Olivia Munn outrunning a predator. And Olivia Munn jumping onto a bus.
That's very
Dude, I love that part.
I was like, what is she thinking? She just jumped on that bus.
She did not give a shit. That's why I like that
This is
character.
like-
Shit, no
all
fear.
that just
She doesn't
Yeah.
need any man. What about you, man? What's your?
yeah, probably 3. If we're gonna
3?
scale it
Damn,
10,
okay,
3
okay.
out of 10.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, they
Oh,
could
cool.
they could have been a lot more creative with the storyline.
Yeah.
I think the casting was off. And nothing bad about the CGI. I mean, it's great. You can go take your date, whatever. Go watch the movie. It didn't suck, right? But
Fun.
It wasn't 3 though. Out of 10.
yeah, it wasn't. It
That's-
wasn't as good as 1 or 2. And I thought even the versus Predator, Alien vs Predator was better than this.
Nice.
I like the
That's
first
awesome.
first AVP.
Shout out to Josh before we get to the final rating. Shout out to Josh. Thanks for the donation. $25.
Ooh,
Love
money.
No BS channel. Keep up the good work.
Why do I order a pizza?
So do we split that up?
Are we getting residuals now? When does
You
this
guys
happen?
have to, that's a
Hey,
talk.
this-
Everybody talk to my accountant. I would rate the Predator 6 out of 10. Needed more Predator or a manly in the air muscle handshake.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so okay. Let's
Dude,
get it.
also, yeah.
So he's vibing with that.
We do have
need a
that.
muscle man or
We
something.
do have that in our new short.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good.
it's
That's a good
in there.
segue.
In there.
We are releasing a new video on Sunday, so stay tuned for that, guys. We did a Predator trailer reaction short sketch. It was a lot of fun, and we're gonna have that come out on Sunday. Ratings. Do you want to go first or me?
Paper, rock, scissors, or how do you want to?
Rock, paper, scissors,
One
shoot.
time.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh, Connor.
So that means
You go first.
Okay, okay. You get the call. Okay, I was gonna say I was like with you as like a 4 out of 5. I think thinking about it, I just bring it down to like a 3.5. flames. Like I felt like it was a 4 in the movie, but just there's just a few little things, but I don't think it ruins it for me. It's just like kind of like it's not perfect.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. No, there's not a lot of 4 out of 5s these days. Yeah. Everything's kind of 3, which is good. A 3 is super sick, and I think this is above that because it's got that good graphics. It's in a good franchise, and I think one thing I wanted to mention again about the director, like Shane Black, like it reminds me of Iron Man 3 a lot.
Yeah.
Because he's coming into this other franchise with like a 3rd or 4th movie, but he does a great job. Like he puts his little brand on it, but at the same time he gets into the genre good.
The kid is like a little engineer.
Yeah. You remember in Iron Man he has the kid? Yeah. So it's got a lot of similarities. And also at the same time, like I think some people might forget, like Iron Man 3 was a little divisive too.
Yeah.
So we kind of had like mixed decisions on this movie. So I think Iron Man 3
Nice Guys. It's really his MO. It's either you love a Shane Black movie or you have issues with it.
Yeah. Do me a favor and tell me you at least like this more than Meg. I saw Meg and I was
awesome. First of all,
I think
that's a cheesy movie to be cheesy.
That is cheesy as fuck.
I loved it.
Well, I like those are very different, so it's hard to say. I would say this movie maybe overall is better just because it's more intense. But like
Jason Statham would have done better in this movie.
Yeah, they should have swapped it. So they should have switched out
did a good job in Homecoming.
The Predator with the shark. They should have had a shark Predator.
Homefront.
Okay, so final thoughts after your rating.
The What the Fuck Show rating is a 3 out of 5 flames or a 7 out of 10, depending on which ranking system you want to do. If you like 90s movies, the Buy Into the Cheese, watch this and then watch The Last Boy Scout and all the Lethal Weapon movies.
So are you sure about that? Are you sure about that math there?
The math?
You can't compare this.
You said 3 out of 5 is a 7 out of 10.
He's
saying out of the 5 rating, it's a 3.
It's a
10.
Okay, so it's higher.
I'd 5 more.
Did you catch on there, buddy?
I'm the one bad at math.
You're on the spectrum.
So I'm actually the future evolution of humans.
All right.
Something like that. But good movie. Yeah. Definitely fun and definitely a Predator movie.
Yeah.
If you like Predator, I think you're going to be good ship shape.
What about that last quick rundown? Really quick around the table. We like to do that thoughts of something you've watched recently for the listeners. Something you've watched recently you'd recommend.
Okay.
Anybody?
I'll start out.
Why don't you start out?
Amazon's Jack Ryan. That is a legit show, and Jim does a great job. He does a great job. Oh man, Brooks has his favorite. I want to hear it. I want to hear it. Why do you like it?
And we're offline. No, I'm just kidding.
The bad guy's like sympathetic at times. Like it's a good like if you like that kind of Middle Eastern terrorist type of stuff, then I would definitely recommend it.
Do yourself a favor if you're an adult over 25 years old or older and watch Ozark. Season 2 just came out. I love it.
I like that first season. I gotta watch the new one.
Very cool.
I'm going to go with something I don't recommend that I've seen recently. It's the new Power Rangers reboot. I thought it was total freaking trash. I mean, I thought we could have probably come up with a better script ourselves here. That YouTube movie was even better than the new one. So if you haven't seen the reboot, you've saved yourself an hour and a half of your life. So don't go watch it.
What about you guys? Anything you've seen that you want to recommend or not?
Crazy Rich Asians.
That you recommend or not?
I recommend it.
Yeah, it was good.
I do want to see that.
I thought it was a great movie.
Really good.
It'll probably take the summer box office. As
far
as that goes.
Great comedy, like really funny.
Yeah, funny.
Let's not offend our guests.
That was a good movie all around.
These are just crazy Asians.
Aquafina. She's an ex-star.
She's funny. I like that movie too.
The next Asian movie, Searching.
Okay.
Oh, is that your recommendation?
That movie is good. I've yet to find a theater that's playing it. Where'd you watch that?
Fallbrook.
I'm gonna go see that.
Yeah, but that's where we saw it. We saw it at Fallbrook too.
Oh, yeah.
So that's probably why I was only playing. I was looking for it, dude, because I wanted to see that.
That one's legit. They deliver food to your seat if you want.
Happy Time Murders was pretty good too.
Yeah, that movie's hilarious.
Just want to sleep,
dude. This is a ridiculous shit.
It's super dumb. I love that shit. I love that shit.
Cowboy guys.
The other one, I'll do my recommendation last. It was it's not like a high recommendation, but I watched Paradise PD, this new cartoon.
New Brickleberry guys show.
Yeah, it's like really like it's super funny. It goes super fast paced and it's like crazy. They curse a lot. It's kind of like Family Guy, but even like.
Well, if you like Brickleberry.
Yeah, Brickleberry, and I watched some of
that.
So it's super funny.
Just minus Tosh.
Worth a shot. And that's it. I mean, I didn't think it was awesome. Yeah, I watched a few episodes, but it was super funny. Like crazy. I like those cartoons. So
yeah,
South Park's coming back in 2 weeks.
Cool.
BoJack Horseman starts on Friday.
You got some Predator reviews. As you see it with your friends, you'll notice that in a group of people, some are going to love it, some are going to hate it. It's going to divide people right down the middle. So pretty interesting motion picture coming out.
That's how you know it's good. You know, you want to be controversial, break expectations, do fun things on camera is essentially what we want. And special thanks to Josh again. We really appreciate your donation and everyone else watching. Justice Warrior, J God, John Davis says, do you think they're going to make more Predators?
Of course.
If it makes money, yeah, for sure.
They set it up. They
set it up hardcore. I'd be down. Like, I know the last one was like 8 years ago. Like, they could go right into the next one, like in a couple years.
Just depending on how much money it makes. If it makes a huge first weekend, then
that'd be cool.
Sequel.
Arnold.
Yeah, bring back Arnold. Actually, you know, I heard that. Last thing I'll say is they wanted to bring back Arnold, but he opted to be in Terminator.
Yeah, he turned it down because
of James Cameron.
Yeah, James Cameron's like,
you can't say no to James Cameron.
Yeah, no, you can't.
He made him an offer he can't refuse.
He did. James Cameron.
Okay. All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
That was fun.
We'll see you maybe next week, next hot movie. Stay tuned for that sketch on Sunday. Thanks for watching.
Peace.